It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Well, if you missed the regular show and you're wondering why Jaybird is glistening more than usual today, he and Denny's had lost Do It Bitch, and they got glitter bombed with the big old leaf blower that Virginia has.
The Mother Nutter 3000.
It's always bizarre because sometimes we'll do a punishment. I go, this is such a bitch-ass punishment. It's going to be over, done. That shit hurt, cut my face, and I swallowed half of it.
Yeah.
Dried out my eyes. Denny's is fucked, too. We so underestimated that. The video looks pretty good. We get blasted pretty good.
Yeah, I got, I think it was, is it Smita is how you say this? But they sent in kind of Smita sent in.
She's the one that gave me my menopause fan that I have over here.
Oh,
She's
nice.
the one that gave me all my glasses. She's very she really is an awesome KVJ Nationer.
She drove me home from one of the KVJ lives because I was drunk.
She did?
Yeah.
That's fucked. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Not you.
Smita.
Yes.
So she went through it play by play, frame by frame, and you can really see where it went wrong. And if you look, you've got the first couple frames, Jaybird, Denny's bracing themselves for the Mother Nutter 3000 and the glitter that's coming at them. But you can really honestly see the moment where Virginia said, "Open up, sweet baby," because both at the bottom frame, Jaybird and Denny's open their mouth wide just as the glitter bomb goes shooting right out and down their windpipes.
And it was just muscle memory. Like, I always say that before I fire off the Mother
But the
Nutter.
fact they listened and opened their mouth wide in that shot, and then all of a sudden, glitter bomb, baby.
Dude, we're so numb to the process. We just listen. Okay, open up, sweet baby.
All of us
And then
just...
you can see on that bottom frame of those two shots, you can see the blast of glitter just coming out. And we'll have to do probably a slower frame by frame and really break that down today for social media.
It hurt way more than the nuts.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, glitter cuts the skin.
More than nuts.
You got me just on the right side of my face and then in my mouth, but if you would have went full on with a shit ton more glitter, and I would have kept my eyes open, that would have been fucked.
Oh, no. Eyes got to be closed.
Yeah.
Come on. Element of danger. Remember, I'm dangerous. Whoa.
It's so dangerous.
I know. What a badass I am.
So what do you think comes first? We get all of the glitter out of the carpet in this studio, or we get into our new studio?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, I
What
know.
happens first?
I'll take a shower and there'll still be glitter in my bed.
You'll have glitter balls.
Oh, I'll be masturbating. There'll still be fucking glitter.
Yeah, just everywhere. You'll come glitter.
Just come glitter.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was a little vulgar, but I'm just trying to paint a picture that the glitter's not going away anytime soon.
It sticks around. Sticks around. It's resilient. Well, I got some help here from Veronica about your back. She had her own back issues, was dealing with pain management, trying things, and she said, I finally discovered lidocaine pain patches. It is the only thing that has ever offered me any type of relief during a flare-up. You do need to get them prescribed by a doctor, but I'm telling you, it has changed my life when it comes to my back pain. It won't help with your bone-on-bone hip, but it will dramatically reduce any muscular pain.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the help.
Lidocaine patch.
Okay. Yes, the KVJ Nationers have been quite kind with the recommendations, and I do truly appreciate that.
This is Jackie in Wellington. She had heard you talking about your recurring hedgehog dream. And this is the one where it's basically coming in through the walls, gets on your bed, and then boom, multiplies just like that.
There's many of them, and they're kind of slimy. They're a hybrid of a hedgehog mixed with, I think, a hamster or a gerbil of sorts.
Okay, and they're slimy.
They're greasy and big, and they jump up on the bed and methodically just kind of walk slowly, looking at you, and then all of a sudden you're seeing them come through the walls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Possibly lizards on the ground.
Terrifying. And what Jackie's thought is, could the hedgehog be a vision of what the elemental spirits in his home actually look like if they could be seen? Is it possible that they're moving in on him more closely? Maybe Vicky can weigh on this from your Weird and Whatever podcast.
Everyone's a psychic, Virginia. Or I'm sorry, a suspect, not psychic. Everyone's a suspect, Kevin.
Well put.
Dog, I think I'm glitter drunk.
Glitter drunk. And Kate said, what is it that made Jaybird start believing in ghosts?
Just the weird shit that was happening. That at that one apartment I was having. I also, when I was a little kid, I had two imaginary friends, and as I look back, I wonder if they were imaginary friends, and if they were maybe not, there was something different. One was named Bebo Y, which was this weird-looking doll that lived in the bathroom tile, and then there was a guy named Don, who was in his mid-40s, had slicked back hair, always wore a turtleneck.
Sounds like a predator.
He would always go in the bathroom with me.
Look at your pee-pee.
Well, he would just talk to me when I was in the bathroom.
Come on, kid, now tug it.
He would totally walk. He would come through the wall. But I was a kid, so who knows?
So you had a sexual predator ghost?
Look, I don't know if Don was a sexual predator, but he did have a vibe of long black turtleneck, kind of slick back, dirty hair. He was in his mid-40s, it would seem, and he would just like to come into the bathroom and talk with me. When I don't know what to tell you. I had a fucked up child.
Your adulthood's not much different.
At least I can deal with it now.
Now at least you're an adult.
Yeah, at
And
least.
you have the tools to say, yeah, this is pretty fucked up.
Back then, I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
And Kate also wanted to know, has there been any ghostly things since your dad came into town?
No, but there's been some ghostly things that's been freaking out my girlfriend.
What's
really?
happening?
Yeah, she keeps thinking something's behind her, trying to grab her, and she hears it walking right behind me, and then she'll go, were you just behind me? Did you just try to touch me? I go, no, it was not me at all.
Ooh, it's that jealous female ghost you have.
It does seem to happen on certain days more than others. Sunday mornings when we are playing like Sunday type of music.
What is your Sunday type of music?
I don't want to.
Bump and grind.
Come on, what's your Sunday type of
Sunday
music? Sunday
sex.
type of music. What do you call a Sunday type of music? What does that mean?
He lays that pipe on Sunday.
No, that's Saturday night.
Okay, yeah, baby.
No,
Yeah.
see, just you regular like peaceful Sunday music when we cook and stuff.
And stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff.
when we cook together.
Do you stuff her?
All right, you're so fucking vulgar.
You said stuff.
Stop. You're
I
When
didn't
you,
say.
when you cook and stuff her?
I didn't say I stuff her. I said you stuff her.
No, when we cook and stuff, but it does sound like cooking. We're stuffing.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so sorry, honey face. Don't listen to this part, please.
Maybe don't listen to any parts.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, so you guys probably have a Sunday playlist with your lover.
No.
I mean, I do have like Sunday playlists, but usually we're getting ready for church, so nobody's getting stuffed.
No one's getting stuffed during breakfast time or
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah, you get stuffed after.
Wow.
You want this breakfast sausage?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Our boss is looking in here. I think he's been alerted to the glitter.
Was it the trail of glitter that's leaving our studio and going in every direction outside down the hall?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Into the second story, into the lawyer's office. Yeah. It's in the fucking elevator.
There's a lot of glitter, Kevin.
Yeah, I kind of figured that
Don't
might
make eye
happen.
contact with him. Don't look at him.
Look, the mother nutter don't dick around.
No, it does not. It really came full gorilla.
I used to really hate that thing.
Yeah.
Now I just mildly hate it.
Okay.
But you respect it.
You're liking it more after it shot glitter down your throat?
It comes correct, man. It sliced my fucking face.
Powerful. It is
Yes.
powerful.
This ain't no bitch ass air blower.
Yeah, that thing
No.
is industrial sized.
In fact, we could do some more. We could do, and you probably wouldn't. You could do screws.
Oh yeah, you could make shrapnel fly out of that thing.
You could do lug nuts.
Small lug nuts.
Small-
You
small.
could. You absolutely could.
African honeybees.
You could do all kind of what foods would be the hardest and most painful, and do a ranking.
Shards of glass.
Now you're getting too crazy. Come on,
Venomous caterpillars.
man. Virginia with that fake ass caterpillar. It wasn't even real.
Whatever. That was a real caterpillar. I showed Denny's the video, and he was very impressed.
Well, he has to.
That's impressive, Virginia.
He's scared of you.
Whatever.
Yeah, somebody had said the green caterpillars are the ones that will sting. They grew up and they had them on some of their bushes out front of their house growing up.
It is pretty crazy how the caterpillar does transform into a butterfly. I know it sounds like I'm stoned, but when you really break it down, pretty fascinating.
It
no?
is. No, it's a magical miracle of life.
That's always fucked with my head. And then the severed lizard tail that grows back. That is crazy. to me.
Yeah, that is wild. I wish people could do that.
Yeah, if you cut off your finger, you could grow it back.
Yeah. They are actually looking at some of those properties and how that happens, and they're trying to mimic it in humans. Could you imagine if medicine got to that level where you would just regrow back limbs?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
30 years, someone would have laughed you out of the room. Now you bring that up.
Yeah.
To me, that's a realistic thing that could happen.
It's a real project. I don't know how close they are, but it's something they're looking at.
It'll get to a point where if you do want a tail, you'll be able to get a tail.
You've been wanting a tail. Would you really, seriously, would you get a tail?
Yeah, if I'm still working for this show, absolutely.
Long or short?
Long.
Okay.
Size queen, long.
Kind of like a big old lion's tail. Is it going to
and-
be skinny? Is it going to be furry?
I want it
Maybe a
to-
tufted fur at the end?
I want it to be when I get excited, it just flips out.
Like a dick coming out of your butt?
No, like a dog gets excited. Oh, Kevin's here. Oh, man, I'm so
And you'll
pumped.
be able to wag it, kind of
Yeah,
like
I
that. So
can
you want like
wag
a
it.
dog-sized tail.
Yeah, when Virginia walks in, my fucking tail goes right between my legs. And
Like you're about to be kicked.
Bad dog.
that would be cool, though.
Yeah, it could be. Got an email here. Chris and her husband, they went out for a date night. They got small kids, and it doesn't happen often. And she said that they went to a couple places, and those cocktails were deceptively more expensive than they thought. They went to a place that had a happy hour. It said $5 cocktails, but none of their cocktails listed were actually on happy hour. What they meant was house liquor. Single pour drinks were $5. And then this other place we went to, basically they had a happy hour as well. And first I asked for a Milagro tequila in my skinny margarita, and the woman poured in Don Julio, which is a more expensive tequila, and then she charged us for it. And then we noticed when we got our check that she charged us $2 extra to make the margarita skinny, resulting in a $17 just okay margarita.
Oh, no.
And there was also an immediate 16% service charge added to the bill.
Where the hell were you? Does she say the name of the place?
I'll just say it's a new fusion restaurant in Stewart is the second place she went. They went to two different places. Yeah, I will tell you, honestly, the Queen and I, we talked about that because I'm a skinny margarita guy as well. And the prices on the cocktails, I just, and my wife, her idea of what a shot is asinine, by the way. Like you want to talk about a heavy pour. She's in Virginia's category. It's just not even realistic.
The queen is?
Yeah.
So when she orders a shot, she wants a shot.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with the
gonna
queen on
I'm going
that.
to bring it in. I've told her because, she'll be on break here in a couple of weeks. She'll be done with school, and she doesn't have the summer school stuff lined up that she typically does. I'm like, okay, when you're free and you can actually talk to us, I'm going to have her come in. You got to see what she deems as a shot glass. It's probably, I would say, a 4-ounce glass that she's like, that's a shot glass. I'm like, that's not a shot glass.
I stay with
That's-
the queen on this. I get some bitch ass shots when I go to a restaurant. I'm like, I'm not 9 years old.
Well, and
here,
that's her
guys.
thing. She's like, look, if I order a, anywhere from $15 to $25 cocktail, which is what some of them are now, she's like, and I don't feel anything.
Yeah, that's exactly why I do the shot and then I chase it with a little ginger ale because I think I get more bang for my buck.
Right.
And the queen is right. You'll order these mixed drinks and you don't feel shit.
Yeah, so I've kind of gone to, I don't really order cocktails out anymore because they are so asininely expensive and it's everywhere. And look, I may be getting hit with some of this too. I haven't gotten a breakdown on my receipts yet, and I do typically check. But yeah, if I had to pay $2 extra just to make my margarita skinny and then I had a 16% service charge, look, I'm going to tip well. But then what happens is if you don't check that, then you double tip.
Yes, that happens all the time.
And I've noticed what you're saying. The cocktails have gotten so expensive, so I just do beer or a wine at standard, and it's not going to be as expensive. I have pretty much sworn off buying cocktails in restaurants and bars now.
Where if you had to go get some drinks that are affordable, and I'm not talking about a real shitty dive bar, but it could be a dive bar, but maybe more on the nicer end,
Yeah.
or even just a regular place to get drinks. Where does somebody get their best bang for their buck, where they can, get a nice buzz and not have it completely break the bank?
The Moose Lodge.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
There's
I knew you were
no
gonna say that, yeah.
better place in town pricing than the Moose Lodge.
She's not lying.
And then I'll tell you honestly, the dive bars too. Like when I went into Sail Inn in Delray on Friday, I was only getting Coronas because that's where I am now, like I had said. But
Loaded Corona?
no, I'm not. No, I learned my lesson on loaded Corona.
Too bad.
Those things are good, but yeah, they kick you in the dick.
I want to try that so bad.
Did you did one?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. No,
We should do one on
I
the
just
We
did
show.
should
Coronas.
because I want to try it. You got me thinking about it. I think about it a lot now.
They're good. They're good.
Friday?
Yeah.
Friday's right around
okay.
the corner.
Loaded
Yeah.
Corona.
All right. You want to buy all the
The ingredients.
I'll give you the money. I'll buy if you fly.
All right.
All right. I like
Deal.
Yeah, but it wasn't terribly priced. And to me, if you go into kind of a dive bar type thing, look, their clientele's not going to put up with these insanely priced cocktails.
Right.
You're right.
You go to a locals bar, any place where they could have tourists and people coming in town, I've just realized that's where they're going to get you, which is almost every place, honestly, because you got to go back roads and things like that to find these. Like that Sail Inn is not on the radar of any place really nearby. That's why when the Queen had her eyelash thing, I'm like, there's nothing around here. It's just, how South Florida has little dead spots?
Yes.
It's just one of those weird little places in Delray on the Boynton line, and it's just there's
You're like, I just want a drink.
not a lot going on. That's why I'm like, well, guess there's going to be nowhere to go. And I saw Sail Inn. I'm like, there it is.
I'm
going to
so
Sail Inn.
thirsty.
There are still some of those dive bars where you go there, you'll have a bunch of drinks. You think you're going to get this big bill. The guy, that'll be $11.
Yes.
Like, what?
Right.
What?
And that's the dive bars. That's another reason why I just love them. You got locals, and it's not ridiculous prices.
And some of them are cozy. If they're not overly shitty, like in the first movie Roadhouse.
Yeah, Sail Inn is that way.
Yeah.
It's a cozy little bar. It's nice. It's like I said, that is a great place to go. So I'm getting more into. I've always been to dive bars, but yeah, after what's happening with the prices of cocktails recently, I'm more about dive bars than I've ever been.
I think Crazy Horse is cozy.
Crazy
Absolutely.
Horses
I like a
cozy.
dark
I
pub
do.
tavern looking
That's just
kind of.
that's
Yeah.
my style. Absolutely. No, I'm
fun.
right there with you. Yeah, I mean, you don't have a view of the water or anything like that, but yeah, if you're going in there just to knock down a couple cocktails, that's about the only way you can go now in South Florida.
But you got a good view of Gorman. He's the local that drinks there every single night. He's got a story.
I'm good with that. I love those
Yeah.
stories. I love sitting with them and hearing what they got to say. It's fascinating stuff, usually depressing, but
Yeah, Gorman's life has gone very wrong, and his wife has left him because of his drinking. But he's a regular, and they love him.
yeah.
Buy that guy a drink.
He's.
Yeah.
If you don't get him a drink, he will have the shakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've kind of realized now that it's like it doesn't make any sense to go and order a margarita for the same price that I'd pay for an entire bottle of tequila at the liquor store.
It
And
do-
that's about where we are now.
It's infuriating.
It doesn't even make sense. Why would you do that? that.
And it's tricky too if you go someplace for happy hour and you think the drinks are $5 and they don't up front tell you, oh, it's just the well drinks and it's not any specialty cocktails. I don't think I would go back to that place because to me it's a little deceptive.
It is deceptive, yeah. If you're selling it for one thing and they're not clear and they immediately upgrade you to the Don Julio and that's not what you'd wanted and you thought you were ordering the happy hour.
Maybe you're not a complainer. I would have maybe said something, but
No.
I mean, come on. You got a sign that says $5 cocktails. I asked for Milagro tequila. You gave me Don Julio. You upcharged me on top of that, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You must think I'm fucking dumb.
I'd fucking leave my shift. I would just get in my car and say, all right, sorry, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I can't deal with this woman.
Ryan in Lake Worth Beach said, is it possible to attend UF or FSU entirely remote? He's got 18 credits left at FIU, but he said if I could transfer to a state university, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know how that works. If you can do that,
I do know kids because Magnolia, some of her friends last year, all their classes were online.
But do you still, I assume, have to be accepted to either university, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's not just like anybody can go to UF and take classes online. I mean, UF is insane to get into now.
Yes, you have to be accepted, and then there is that option. A lot of kids choose to do that.
Yeah, I could see that, especially if you're tethered to a place or you got to work, whatever. I've been hearing some numbers about how fewer and fewer people are going to college, and it's going to get to the point, and I love this because I think the colleges where they've been bending you over and raping you for money on everything from tuition to books, I think it's going to flip. And I think colleges and universities are going to be like, crap, man, nobody really feels like they need us anymore, or they don't trust that they're going to get a job on the degree that we give them for $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I agree with you because even when I graduated, and that was a while ago, I had a bad taste in my mouth just with the way, how much money it was, how I kind of felt like just a piece of cattle, just a number. And then, a lot of stuff that they were teaching me, I never would ever apply in real life anyway. And I felt like it was a bit of a scam.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have to make an adjustment, just like you're saying. Either you start lowering tuition or you start changing how you're doing it, because a lot of people are not going there because they think it's a scam, and it's got a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Well, and the other thing that has changed too is how information is now readily available and it's free. There's a dude that he's in the political world, but he's a guy that goes out to these college campuses and he debates people that
Which one?
come
There's
up.
like 11 of them.
The one thing about in particular is a guy named Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
And for instance, the other day he had a professor that was coming at him with a PhD, and he does a tap dance on. He was kind of running some circles around this guy. And he's like, "Look, I never went to college, and you're a PhD." And, kind of proving the point that you can educate yourself if you're determined and know where to find the information. And you can find a skill set. And more, there are less jobs that require to have a degree. They're looking just for people that can do the skill set and know the availability of the job.
Yeah, and I don't want people to get it twisted because I think college is important for some fields. And
A few.
Yes, and some people, it is a good path. I just know that it is a bit of a scam, and I'm talking
It
back
is,
when
no
I
doubt.
when I did it, it was a scam. It could only have gotten worse since back then. You can only imagine what FAU or FSU tuition is per year.
It's crazy. It's a
gotta
lot.
be.
Yeah.
And Blue Ridge Gator said, yeah, there are so many free certifications that you can get, even from places like Harvard. And, honestly, if you could get 3 or 4 different certifications and have a skill set and show that, people be like, okay, cool, it's good. You prove you can do the job and you have it. And then you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt.
Gosh, I remember I didn't even realize I was paying off my last. I was at the bank and I went to go pay my payment, and they go, "That's your last student loan." I go, "What?
What?
Wow, I freaked out at the bank line. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was paying that until I was dead.
Wow.
In my 40s, I was still paying that off.
Dang.
Yep. Meg had a question for a 14-year-old and an 8th grader, very intelligent, advanced classes, participates in debate, but is just not able to really prove it on paper, and now it's affecting his GPA. Is it frowned upon, do you think, to incentivize getting good grades, like money, or is that counterproductive?
I don't think it's bad. I got better grades when my dad made incentives.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any kind of problem with that. Look, you've got to make it so that it's desirable, and unfortunately, a lot of times kids are short-sighted. I know I was at that age, not really seeing that, okay, getting good grades really could get you more money faster, possibly.
Speak their language.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be in the real world. You know, when you go and you do a great job at your career,
Yeah, right.
you get bonused based on how well you perform in a lot of jobs.
Now, I don't say spoil the fuck out of them, but if a kid does good,
Earns it.
and yeah, they earn it. I got no problem rewarding a kid that earns his grade or her grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I agree. I think it's good.
Also, if you get bad grades, guess what? You don't get shit.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, in my house, man, if you brought home a BC report card, that is pizza night, motherfucker. those are good grades.
And Christina said, when I attended high school in 2009 to 2013, everybody had a cell phone, but we weren't allowed to have our phones out from the morning bell until the last of the day. If staff caught students with their phones out, the phone would be taken to the office and your parent would have to come sign the phone out. Why did this ever change, and why is it so hard to go back to this? My phone was with me in my purse all day long, so it was accessible in case of school shooting or other emergency. Sure, I would try to sneak some texts in my purse during lunch, but my mom would chew my ass if she needed to come down to the school and sign out my phone, so I was motivated to not get in trouble. I'd love to hear from high school teachers about how they think this kind of system would work in school today.
It changed because children got too much power. Everyone cowered to all of the children and the parents, and you weren't, as a teacher, ever saying, "No, you can't have that." Well, Johnny's going to have that, and he's going to be able to do that because I said so when I'm the parent. My teacher friends talk about it all the time, how they used to love teaching because they could actually teach, and if a kid was acting a fool, they could somewhat discipline the kid to at least be able to still teach. Now, that wasn't a perfect world. Nowadays, teachers are afraid to do any kind of discipline because they're going to be a national news story. It's kind of fucked. The kids got the power.
Yeah, I used to never see. I mean, I saw a lot of kids fighting. I never saw a kid go after a teacher, though, and I see those videos quite frequently.
Yeah, you do. It's scary.
Yeah, it's amazing to me just how quick a kid is to go after and try to attack a teacher.
Well, it's like what you were talking about earlier. Kids are misbehaving. They're being assholes in school. Then their parents come bail them out. And then the teacher's the problem, not the asshole kid. And that is raising and producing an asshole adult eventually.
Amen.
Yeah, to me, honestly, if you lay hands on a teacher, you should, the entire next semester, you should be in one of those prison schools. You seen that where they send the kids?
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea of sending a kid away to that. If they act up and they get physical with the teacher, they should automatically go to juvie.
Yeah, you got 6 weeks where you're going to stay here. You're not going to see your parents. You're going to be basically locked up. You'll have visitation. And, yeah, good luck. Touch one of our prison guards.
Yeah,
what
have
happens.
some fun with that.
And I'm not saying during that time period while you're, being scared straight, getting the proper therapy, getting anger management courses, because that could be part of a lot of people are angry and don't know how to deal with their anger issues.
Sure, and a lot of kids get hit at home, and then they come to school and they hit others.
Yeah.
That's
But,
a thing.
I mean, if you want to know what the things change because the kids got more power than the adults now.
Well, if you got a kid that does that and beats the hell out of a teacher, they clearly have bigger issues, and they need to be pulled out from the group and you've got to break them down and figure out what's going on.
Thank you. You cannot
them extra help.
coexist.
Right.
We can't have our teachers fearing physical violence from a student.
And I don't think teachers need to be assholes and go on power trips to children either.
No.
There's got to be a way to, But
Teachers still could get in trouble for anything they did to incite a fight with a kid. Big
Exactly.
time.
But you can't get mad at the teacher for being pissed off if kids are on their phone while they're fucking trying to teach a lesson.
You're right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Craig was talking about helicopter parents here. He said, the helicopter parenting was a response to 9/11, where everybody lost their innocence in believing that America is always safe. Parents want to know where their kid is, and they are safe as a response to the event. COVID then helped stem the tide the other way because we got sick of our kids being at home. This is his thought on that. Okay. Do you think 9/11 started helicopter parenting?
I don't think so.
No, I
don't know about that either.
For me, I can see it in my own way that I parent. Like, I think about how my parents parented, and I don't want to do that because I want to know what my kids are up to. I want to be involved. I want to be helping them navigate adolescence and not doing all the stupid shit I did because my parents just weren't involved.
Well, they can almost kind of mark it down. There's numbers behind it where you started to see the beginning of the helicopter parent in the very late 80s, early 90s, and then it started to really explode during your mid 90s, and then the helicopter parent became a thing, and it got to a point where there's even another layer of helicopter. There's worse than helicopter out there.
I think what happened was there was just a generation of parents where it became more important to them to have their kid like them than respect them.
That
And
is true. They want to be their
friends.
kid's friend, their
Yes.
buddy, because maybe they grew up hating their own parent.
Maybe. And when I was a kid growing up, it was all about you are going to respect me. And
Yes.
that was the tone, saying that you'll understand that, here's how things go. What I say goes. There's going to be a level of respect. You're going to talk politely to me.
You're going to have manners.
Yes.
You're
And-
not going to sass and be an asshole
Yeah.
when you're a little kid like this.
Sass and ass.
And there wasn't that tone where it was like, okay, yeah, it's my best friend. And I know one mom, and boy, she gets so tickle pink because she's always like, you know what? Everybody always thinks that my daughter is my twin sister. And we're just so close and so tight. I just kind of hear this whole thing. And I was like, it's an interesting dynamic I never used to hear when I was a younger kid growing up, that it seems like more moms, especially now, they want to be kind of right in there with their kids' friend group.
Keep in mind, too, in the 80s and 90s, there was an explosion of PSAs with missing children, and all kind of crime specials started to explode, and where it bleeds, it leads was getting raided, and it scared a lot of people. You couldn't eat breakfast without looking at a missing child. That's going to breed some fear for a lot of parents out there. My mom was like that. Everybody was a kidnapper. Everyone that drove by in a van was a murderer, and that's because the media really played into that as well. They scared the fuck out of parents.
Well, that fear always works with the news. If you do something, it's going to scare the hell out of people. They're going to pay attention and watch.
Bird flu, remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Oprah's saying we're all going down. Back when
Bird flu, nothing that you can do.
when Oprah was popular and people were listening to her. It's like, bird flu's coming! Bird flu!
You're all gonna die.
And then bird flu went away 3 weeks later, never talked about it again.
So quick. We didn't get the warnings on COVID that we got on bird flu.
All it did was make eggs expensive.
Yes.
And I got an answer here to the drivable cart that I was talking about. I saw it on I-95, and there's a great photo of it. It actually belongs to Publix, and that makes sense. I'm like, well, that's somebody that really loves Publix. But they had it at the grand reopening of the Promenade Shopping Plaza Publix in Palm Beach Gardens, and that's probably why it was on the Only in Palm Beach, is because somebody's probably driving it to and from that event.
That thing's badass.
I know, it is pretty good. I mean, it's a legit, like, super huge cart that is right there on a actual cart.
I mean, they legit made a giant ass grocery store cart.
I wonder
Smart.
how much that thing cost to make.
And how long did it take?
Yeah, it might be more affordable than you'd think. I don't know. Because, I mean, the materials of it, I don't think would be that insane, that part of it. So it's just probably the person that has to make it custom because obviously people are not going to be ordering those things like crazy.
Publix has a new cart. Not that anyone gives a fuck, but it's she rolls real nice, like
Oh yeah.
real different cart. She glides. She doesn't ride. She glides.
I think periodically they do switch them out. They're always like trashing the old ones and getting new
There's a new
ones.
style.
Oh, fancy.
Denny's, edit that out. No one gives a shit.
And Linda, talking about the diet drug, she said, I used Ozempic, but that made me lethargic to where I was driving and I felt like I was going to fall asleep behind the wheels. Ended up switching to tirzepatide, and I love it. I've lost 35 pounds, and I was 189.
Yeah, everybody's different. So if you don't like one, switch to another one.
Yeah, they are effective.
They are very effective, but the price does need to come down because it is a little ridiculous.
So if you're doing it for a month, that's how much? What, 6 bones at least?
Yeah, it's about that.
And now, if you do it for a month, do people typically do it for more than? Like, do they do it for 3 months? Usually, they take a break, go back to it.
I think most people do it for like 3 months, and because of the cost restrictions, maybe go off it for a little bit and then go back on it. I mean, if money's not an object, yeah, just stay on it.
But so what they do is they get skinny, then they go to their cheese doodle phase again. Because
That's it. Yeah, I do hear that is kind of part of the issue is that, you just get ravenous again, and a lot of people put the weight back on, from what I've heard.
But you can also microdose it too. I know people that do that and like figure out where your sweet spot is. So you really have to listen to your body, and if you don't need as much of the medicine as they prescribe to you to do, you don't have to do it. If you're just doing it for cosmetic reasons, take less, make it last longer, find that sweet spot.
But what if I took Ozempic, I got in great shape, I got off of Ozempic, and I made lifestyle changes, and I'm going to the gym, I'm doing them fucking crunches, I'm getting swole. Does it maintain that? Does it reset how your body now will be if you maintain that new lifestyle?
If you can stay good about food, food is 80% of it. If you can stay good about food, which is what it makes you do, the Ozempic, the Wegovy, the Mounjaro, it makes you stay like eating small, tiny portions and not going downstairs and devouring a box of Oreos because you're menopausal.
I would so beat Ozempic. I would beat Buongiorno. Replace it with DiGiorno. Yeah.
Buongiorno.
I'll fucking beat all of them.
It just makes you not want to overeat. I don't know how it does. It's just magical in that way. I've always been somebody who loves to get stuffed and I love that full feeling, but then I would feel so guilty afterwards.
You know what? Jaybird actually likes to stuff, so
Yeah, you got to be careful when you say you like to get stuffed.
after the conversation we started off the show with today.
You're right. Not like Honeyface likes it.
All right, y'all, that is going to do it for us here today. Working our way through the week. Hope to see you back here for a little Wednesday KVJ. Be good. We'll see you then.